The modern mind is a soft thing, trained to negotiate. It tells you, I'm busy, when what it means is, I'm distracted. It says, I'll start tomorrow, knowing tomorrow is just a graveyard for today's intentions. Miyamoto Musashi, the invincible swordsman, understood this internal cowardice better than anyone. He didn't believe in motivation, that fleeting flicker of emotion that disappears the moment discomfort arrives. He knew that the only thing stronger than doubt is an unbreakable commitment to reality. Your excuses, your feelings, your desires, none of them matter. What matters is the iron wall of discipline you build against them. Most people treat their goals like a negotiation. They tell themselves they'll go to the gym if they feel like it, that they'll work on their project if they have time. But every time you give yourself an escape clause, you're training your mind to look for a way out. This internal negotiation is where all consistency goes to die, in the dark corners of a mind that is constantly looking for comfort. This is where you must introduce the principle of irreversibility, the blood oath. A warrior does not decide to fight a battle. He commits to it. The battle is no longer a choice. It is a destiny. It is the same with your goals. You must move your intention from the fleeting box of, maybe I'll do this, to the non-negotiable box of, this is simply done. This is a profound and radical shift. You are not trying to get yourself to do something. You are eliminating the possibility of not doing it. It becomes a fact of your existence, like breathing. One of the most brutal but effective tools for this is the power of reputation, of public declaration. It requires you to place your most precious asset, your social honor, on the line. When you state your intentions to others, not as a boast, but as a solemn promise, you create an external force that is far more powerful than your internal doubts. The fear of public shame, of being seen as a man of empty words, can become a more formidable ally than any fleeting burst of motivation, turning your pride from an enemy into fuel. And in a warrior's world, there is nothing more sacred than your honor. This is the first step in the Jyoji system, turning your words into an unbreakable law. This is the act of putting everything on the line, of forcing yourself to move forward. And once the oath is sworn, the next step is to remove any possibility of choice. Once the oath is sworn, a new war begins. Not a war against others, but a silent war against yourself. Every morning, your mind presents a new set of choices. Should I work out now or later? Should I read or scroll my phone? Do I have to do this today? This is where the battle is lost before it even begins. This constant stream of internal negotiation is what Miyamoto Musashi called the 3 walking methods that he disliked. It's a mind-draining process. Each seemingly small decision consumes a portion of your limited energy, a phenomenon known as decision fatigue. By the time you get to the actual task, the part of your brain responsible for willpower is already exhausted. The simple act of having to decide when and what to do is the hidden tax that most people pay, and it drains their mental energy before they ever take action. The modern world presents a beautiful lie, the illusion of boundless choice. It offers you 100 ways to fail, all packaged as freedom. A true warrior understands that freedom is not the absence of limits. It is the presence of an unbreakable structure. The Zen masters of Aiheiji understood this deeply. Their lives were a study in the abolition of choice. Every moment, from sunrise to sunset, was governed by an unalterable schedule. The time for meditation was fixed. The time for work was fixed. The time for rest was fixed. There was no negotiation. When the mind ceases to question, when should I do this? The practice transforms from a decision into a fact of existence. It becomes as natural and non-negotiable as the rising sun or the beating of your own heart. This rigid adherence to a timetable does not suffocate the spirit, it liberates it. It frees the mind from the endless, exhausting loop of internal debate and allows all your energy to flow into the act itself. This is the essence of Musashi's teaching: polish your wisdom, learn public justice, distinguish between good and evil, study the ways of different arts one by one. By setting your schedule in stone, you create an unshakable foundation. You are no longer fighting with yourself about the what and the when. The battle is over. The routine takes over, and your body's biology begins to work for you, not against you. Each repeated action at the same time of day trains your brain to anticipate and prepare for the task ahead. What was once a conscious effort of willpower, something that required you to convince yourself to do, becomes an automatic pattern. Your body, with its innate wisdom, begins to expect the practice, and with that expectation, the resistance melts away. The discipline moves from a mental effort to a physical, almost subconscious, flow. You stop thinking and start doing. With the discipline of a fixed schedule now in place, most people fall into the next trap: the pursuit of variety. They believe that doing a different workout every day, or constantly changing their approach, is a sign of progress. This is a profound and dangerous misconception. Variety is the illusion of growth. It is the mind's way of keeping itself entertained, of creating loopholes for you to escape into when the real work begins. The moment you introduce a new element, you give your mind an excuse to question and to hesitate. This prevents the formation of a solid habit, a deep neural pathway. A wandering mind, a mind that jumps from task to task, can never achieve true mastery. The real secret of the masters in any field, be it jiu-jitsu, classical music, or sword fighting, is not in their knowledge of 1,000 different techniques, but in their obsessive and brutal repetition of a few foundational movements. Miyamoto Musashi did not become the greatest swordsman in history by constantly changing his style. He became a legend by executing the same basic cuts thousands of times, until they were no longer something he did, but something he was. He knew that to master 1,000 things, you must first master one. The pursuit of complexity is for the amateur. Mastery is found in the relentless refinement of simplicity. This is the paradoxical power of the boring practice. The monotony of doing the same thing, at the same time, in the same way, is not a punishment. It is a portal to a profound state of being. The mind, which is a creature of endless chatter and negotiation, will eventually grow tired of the fight. It will offer all its complaints: "This is boring, I'm not making progress, I should be doing something else." But when you hold the line, when you refuse to negotiate and you continue the same unyielding practice, the mind will eventually surrender. It will give up its struggle and become silent. This silence is the moment the magic happens. The task is no longer something you are forcing yourself to do. It becomes an effortless, almost meditative act. You are no longer in control. The practice itself is. It's the point where the discipline becomes a habit, and the habit becomes a part of who you are. This is the core of the Jyoji system: to find the endless depth in a single, simple act. To bore your way to greatness, and to build an unbreakable foundation for the next stage of your journey. With the unyielding structure of a fixed routine and a singular focused practice, you will inevitably face the most brutal test of all: the day when you cannot perform at your best. This is where most people fall into the trap of the all-or-nothing lie. They believe that if they can't do the full, perfect workout, or write for a complete 2 hours, then it's not worth doing anything at all. This is the perfect excuse, the one your old self has been waiting for, a carefully crafted loophole that allows you to give up without a fight. It is a fundamental misunderstanding of what a true warrior's journey is. Miyamoto Musashi's entire life was about constant, uninterrupted progress. The river can slow to a trickle, but it never ever stops flowing. Your practice must be the same. The difference between a master and a beginner isn't that the master never has bad days. It's that on a bad day, the master still finds a way to move forward, even if it's just a single, small step. This is the difference between strategic recovery and strategic retreat. An elite athlete rests intentionally, with a purpose, to recover and rebuild. They are not retreating from the war, they are preparing for the next battle. But most people, when faced with fatigue or a slight obstacle, use it as an excuse to withdraw completely. They don't rest, they surrender. The mind, desperate for comfort, tells you to stop, to take a break, to wait for perfect conditions. But perfect conditions do not exist. This is the brutal truth that separates the truly disciplined from the merely motivated. The value of continuity over perfection is the principle that guides every great warrior. Doing a single push-up on a day when you are sick is infinitely more valuable than waiting for a day when you feel well enough to do 50. The act itself, the commitment to not breaking the chain of consistency, is the victory. You are not building a result, you are building an identity. The single push-up is a promise to yourself that you are a person who does not quit. It reinforces the mental foundation that you are a person who shows up, no matter what. It is the ritual that separates you from those who are waiting for motivation, from those who are at the mercy of their feelings. The stream of your practice must flow incessantly. It must be an unbroken line of commitment that carves its way through every obstacle, large or small. Even with an unbreakable oath, a fixed schedule, and an endless flow, there will be days when the unexpected happens. A sickness, a family crisis, a sudden change in your environment. This is the moment when the mind, which has been silenced, begins to reawaken. It sees the obstacle as an excuse, a valid reason to give up, to break the chain. This is the error of deciding under stress. When a crisis hits, your brain's prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for rational thought and long-term planning, shuts down. You are left with a primitive, reactive mind that is wired to choose the path of least resistance, to conserve energy and find comfort at any cost. This is the moment when every person with a perfect plan fails, because their plan didn't account for reality. The truly disciplined, the masters of the game, understand that you don't fight against the unexpected. You prepare for it. They build systems that are so resilient, they don't require you to make a single decision when a storm hits. They have pre-engineered their response, much like the ancient monasteries that ensured centuries of uninterrupted practice. The monks didn't decide what to do when a fire broke out. They had a predetermined, automatic response. The bell rang, and every single person moved according to a predefined plan. This eliminated the need for thought, for choice, for the negotiation that would lead to chaos and failure. You can apply this same brutal logic to your own life. This is the map of the unbreakable. You must sit down and list every single obstacle that has ever made you quit in the past. Every sickness, every mood swing, every unexpected social invitation, every feeling of fatigue. And for each one, you must pre-solve it with a clear, specific, and non-negotiable response. For example, if I wake up sick, I will do a single push-up and nothing more. If a friend calls me to go out during my practice time, I will tell them I'm busy and offer a later time. If I feel exhausted, I will do the shortest possible version of my practice, even if it's just 1 minute. This process eliminates the internal fight. You are not deciding when the obstacle appears. You are simply executing a plan that has already been made in a state of calm, rational clarity. You are not at the mercy of your feelings, your fatigue, or the chaos of the world. Your resilience is not a matter of willpower. It is a matter of engineering. You have built a fortress that cannot be breached because every potential weakness has already been identified and fortified. You have become a machine of consistency, an unyielding force that moves forward no matter what. The final and most profound stage of the journey is also the most lonely. When you have mastered the oath, the fixed schedule, the single practice, and the pre-engineered response, a strange and unsettling thing will begin to happen. People will notice. They will look at your consistency and find it unsettling. They will say you are obsessed, crazy, or unbalanced. This is not a sign of your failure. It is a sign of your success. The normal mind, which is a slave to its moods and its fleeting desires, cannot comprehend a mind that is ruled by iron. Your discipline is a reflection of their own lack of it, and they will resist you for it. They will try to pull you back into the chaos and comfort of their world. This is the final trial, a sign that you are separating yourself from the herd. The ultimate purpose of all this brutal training, however, is not to impress others. It is not to become a machine. It is to transcend the physical act of doing and to become the thing itself. Consistency is not about what you do every day. It's about who you become every day. It's the moment when the practice is no longer an external obligation, but an internal, non-negotiable part of your very identity. Miyamoto Musashi did not practice calligraphy to become a writer. He practiced it because a warrior writes. The act wasn't the point. The practice was. It was the expression of his warrior spirit, his way of being. The journey of a daily ritual, which starts as a struggle against yourself, becomes a routine that your body performs effortlessly, and finally culminates in a profound declaration of your identity. You are no longer someone who tries to be disciplined. You are simply a disciplined person. This is the true spiritual ascent, the final lesson of the Jyoji system. The struggle isn't the price you pay for discipline. The struggle is the discipline. The endless battle isn't something you endure to become a warrior. It is what makes you a warrior every single day, forever. You have gone from having a goal to becoming the goal itself, A person so unyielding in their pursuit of excellence that it is simply their nature. If this journey resonated with you, if you are ready to stop negotiating with yourself and build a fortress of discipline that no one can breach, subscribe to the channel. Join a community of men and women who are not afraid of the path less traveled. Leave a like if this message spoke to your spirit, and comment with the word Jyoji if you are ready to begin the work of transforming yourself.